Hi guys, this is Paige from Paperbacks and Lattes, and today I want to share with you some of the ebooks I've recently hauled. So I have already hauled quite a few ebooks in October. I have just found some really great ebooks for free on Amazon, and like always I want to share them with you. The first one I've hauled is My Bestie's Ex by Piper Rain. This involves a girl who meets this guy, and I think they meet on the train and they shared a spark of attraction. They had chemistry, but she didn't know who he was before she fell for him, and he is someone that she cannot have. So assuming from the title, this will be her best friend's ex-boyfriend. So according to the girlfriend law, they are forbidden. The next book is Mad Love by Colette Abetty. This is about a girl. She is a 23 aspiring artist. She is taking like a vacation to escape her controlling parents and her boyfriend, who they just don't really have that spark anymore. And she goes along with her two best friends, and there she meets Clayton, and he just kind of introduces her to passion once more, and she is sucked into his seductive web until a shocking treachery makes her question her judgment and actions. The next book I got is Dead of Night by Emily Goodwin. This is the first book in a paranormal romance series. I really am interested in paranormal romance recently, so I'm looking forward to reading this series, or at least the first book, to see if it's any good. This says never trust a vampire. She finds herself in a vampire-owned bar, and she's done Lucas King, which is, I'm assuming, a vampire, a favor by stopping one of his patrons from draining a human dry in the basement of his bar. And it's just a favor he'd prefer to repay in bed than in kindness. Vampires and witches have had more than a jaded history, and when witches start showing up dead in surrounding covens, all signs point to something old and powerful, something that knows the way of witches, something or someone like Lucas. What's worse than trusting a vampire? Falling in love with one. The next book is White Rabbit by London Miller. This is about a girl who is an investigative journalist, and she goes and delves into New York's black market of criminals and mischief. And she crosses path with a man whose smile is a little too cunning and his power a little too vast. But he is not all what he seems. As a notorious fixer with a thirst for power, he'll do anything to obtain his title. He's ruthless, sinful, and seductive. And how much would you pay to be a king? This is a romantic suspense. This is the first book in the Kingmaker saga, and this is following a man with too much power and the only woman that can bring him to his knees. The next book is Hot as Puck by LILI VALENTE. This is a friends to lovers story. This is about a girl who has had bad luck and trying to date, and so she recruits her best friend, who is a NHL superstar forward, so he plays hockey, to give her a crash course on how to be a sex goddess. And as he is teaching her, giving her these lessons, he is falling for her, and then it turns into he wants to be the only one she seduces. So this is a friends to lovers story, and also a sports romance, and I love sports romances, especially when it has to do with hockey, so this is one that I look forward to reading. The next book is Only for Tonight by Kendall Ryan. This is about a guy who picks up this hooker on the side of the street because she's in trouble. This bad guy is trying to take her home. So he picks her up, and she says this is her first time doing it, which he finds a little hard to believe. But she says she's just trying to make some money because someone left a baby on her doorstep. And then he realizes that's true. And so he takes them in and buys her like formula and diapers to help, her and the baby, and he falls for her. This sounds like a really good story, and I can't wait to read this one as well. The next one is True Blue by Melissa Foster. This is the first book in the Whiskey's Dark Nights at Peaceful Harbor book. This involves Truman. He goes to prison for a crime he did not commit, and when he gets out, his mother has an overdose on drugs, and now he is left to take care of his mother's children, his siblings that she's left behind, and he's doing all that he can to take care of them. He's trying to save his brother, who is even more broken than he is, and that is when Gemma tries to step in, helping him. Even though he tries to deny her help, she still slithers her way into the family. And when Truman's dark past comes back to haunt him, his loyalties will be tested, and he'll be faced with the toughest decision yet. And this also says the Whiskeys are perfect beach reads with depth of story, strong family ties, and a wealth of emotions. Small town love stories with happily ever afters guaranteed. The Dark Knights Motorcycle Club is not a typical MC book. These bad boy bikers are tough, but they have hearts of gold, and they're not afraid to use them. So I did not realize that this was a Motorcycle Club book until just now. I love those. This book, it sounds very intriguing. I cannot wait to read it. I'm sure it has a lot of emotion, and I am looking forward to adding it to my TBR. The next book is Christmas on Main Street by Leanna Morgan. This says Emma loves everything about living in Sapphire Bay. This is a small town in Montana, and her communications business is thriving, and her 6-year-old twins are happy. But when a Christmas Facebook post goes viral, Emma and her friends are swamped with people asking Santa for help, but it's her twins' wish that breaks her heart. Jack Devlin finds missing people. When his brother asks him to help locate Emma's ex-husband, he thinks it's going to be an easy case. But the more time he spends with Emma, the more complicated their relation becomes. With more than one heart on the line, will they go back to their old lives or risk everything for a once-in-a-lifetime kind of love? This sounds amazing. It sounds like her husband is missing, but she has fallen in love with the guy who is trying to help find him. So this could become a love triangle if they do find him. Sounds like a very heartwarming Christmas read. The next book is Torrent by Gemma James. This is about a girl who sent an innocent man to prison, and now he is returning the favor. He has captured her. He is holding her captive on an island, and he has reasons for what he's doing, and she doesn't blame him. She's the girl who sent him to prison for a heinous crime that he didn't commit. This is a dark romance with a kidnapping and other disturbing themes, so this does have triggers. Sounds like a very good dark romance. Next book is Sugar Coated by Erin Nicholas. This is the first book in the Hot Cake series. This is a brother's best friend's rom-com. She's his best friend's little sister. He's known her all of his life. He's practically part of the family. There is nothing either of them could do to surprise the other at each other at this point. Then she showed up in his bedroom in lingerie and asked him to take her V-card. Okay, that was a surprise. Aiden is pretty sure Zoe was equally surprised when he told her no. To say that he didn't handle it well would be a massive understatement, almost as massive as the amount of work he's going to have to do to now convince her that he wants her forever. Right after he tells her that he's bought the company that's her bakery's biggest competitor. Maybe if he tells her he's in love with her first, that will help sugarcoat the whole "we're rivals in business now" thing. So first I'm in love with you, then take off your clothes, and then now I'm your business adversary. Piece of cake. This sounds charming. This is, this kind of sounds like after this denial, they kind of turn into hate to lovers. This is a hate to lover situation. And of course they're going to be business rivals, and this just sounds like a charming read, funny rom-com, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book is Borrowing a Fiancé by Kat Belmar. This is a book about a fake engagement, so that has that trope in it. This is about a girl. She has been managing her parents' diner, and she kind of resents that because she had wanted to go to college, but now her younger sister is getting married and she needs a date for the wedding, and so She asks her friend Daniel to be her date, but also her fiance. And with every touch and fake kiss, the line blurs between fiction and reality, and it seems inevitable that at least one heart will be broken by the end of the weekend. Love fake dating, fake relationships, so this will be a joy to read. The next book is Viable Threat by Julie Rowe. This is the first book in the Outbreak Task Force series. This is to do with Special Forces soldier and medic Walter River would give anything to snatch more than a few seconds of downtime to see if he can rattle the no-nonsense and incredibly hot Dr. Lloyd he's protecting, but dodging explosions, snipers, and student radicals who's unleashed a lethal bio-engineered microorganism have made that almost impossible. Maybe he'll get a chance if he can figure out how to keep them both alive. CDC microbiologist Ava Lloyd races to find a cure for the bioterrorism organism sweeping El Paso. The few stolen moments with her very hunky bodyguard River have been explosive, but no matter how alluring he is, she can't afford to get distracted. The clock is ticking, people are dying by the hundreds, and once this crisis is solved, they'll both be off on their next assignment, thousands of miles apart. So this is a bodyguard romance, and while she's trying to find a cure to save all these people from dying, and he is trying to help her, keep her protected, and while she's doing that, and this is their romance. The next one is Promises to Keep by Catherine Shea. This is about an Secret Service agent Joe and unpredictable agent Luke go undercover in a high school which has been flagged by their school threat assessment team as having the potential for violence. They expect their differences will cause them conflict. What they don't expect are the two women who blow their careful plan apart. Susanna Quinn is the principal and hates being attracted to the new psychologist. Worse, 30-year-old social studies teacher Kelsey is horrified by her feelings for Luke, her new student. But the very real threat of school violence from more than one student forces them to work together and face their feelings for each other. Suicide, gang warfare, and bullying all play a part as the stunning drama unfolds. So this is about two undercover agents who go into this school, and they fall in love with two women there who work there as they try to help make this school more safe, since this school tends to have violence and bullying. The next book is Ribbon Night by Devney Perry. This is the second book in the 10 Gypsy series, and I'm actually not going to read the synopsis because this is the second book in the series, and I still have yet to read the first one, so I really don't want to read the second one. But I did see that it became available as free on Amazon, so I had to snatch it up since I own the first one, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm not going to read the synopsis for the second one. The next book I got is Shadows by Kristen Proby. This is the first book in the Bayou Magic series. This is the first book that is a paranormal romance series. This synopsis says, I am never alone, not even when I am alone. I see the unquiet dead, the souls that wander through the French Quarter. They can't move on, and I can't stop seeing them. I wear malachite for protection, and I control what I let in. It's the only way to stay sane. Everything changes the day Cassian Winslow joins my ghost walking tour and knocks my world off its axis with green eyes the color of the stone around my neck. An unspeakable evil is loose in New Orleans, taking young women and leaving a bloodbath in its wake. More shadows lurking for me, more unhappy dead. There might be a way to stop it. Open myself up to Cassian. If I do, it could spell his death, but if I don't, it's mine. This sounds very intriguing. A girl who can see the dead, the ghost, and she does this ghost tour, and there she meets Cassian, and it sounds very good. I've never read anything like that before, so that will be very interesting to read. The next book is The Trouble with You by L.A. Cotton. This is the first book in the Rickson Raiders series. This is an angsty YA, enemies to lovers romance, cocky football players, school rivalry, and the girls who get in their way. Get ready, the Raiders are coming. Haley Rain has only to survive one more year, 1 year of life in her football-obsessed town, 1 year of nauseating school spirit. Just one more year of her cruel stepbrother Jason and his cocky, arrogant football-playing friends. She hates them, especially Cameron Chase, the guy she thought was different. Cameron Chase has the world at its feet. He has it all: good looks, talent, and the charm to go with it. He has colleges lined up at his door, all wanting a piece of Rickson Raiders' star wide receiver. Until something threatens everything he's worked for, and only one person can quiet the war raging inside of himself. But he's supposed to hate her, his best friend's sister. She's off limits. She's untouchable. She's trouble with a capital T. Then Haley finds herself in the middle of a football prank gone wrong, and suddenly hating each other never felt so good. So this is definitely an enemies to lovers story. The next book I got is Scorned by S.L. Scott. This is the first book in the From the Inside Out series. This sounds like a very heartbreaking and emotional story. This is about Juliet. She has loved Dylan. She has loved him with her whole heart. She thought their love could withstand anything, but she was very wrong. She used to be happy, but he took her heart and soul and broke it into a million pieces and became someone else entirely. In one afternoon, I lost my soulmate. I lost everything I knew to be myself. And then 3 years later, the man who destroyed me is back to assuage his guilt, to finish the job. It doesn't matter. I won't let him this time. I'm stronger. I've moved on. He won't affect me. This is a story of love and betrayal, pain and loss, happiness and fate. It's about finding your true destiny. This is our story, and it's not for the faint of heart. So it sounds like there is a lot of heartache in this story. I don't know if it's a happily ever after. I'm assuming it would be, since a romance, but it sounds like, I don't know. So it'll be interesting to find out. Next book is Justifying Jamie by Anna Brooks. This is the first book in the Reason to Ruin series. This says, the first time I heard his cheesy pickup line, he made me laugh. The next night, I fell madly in love. Then he shattered my world without speaking a word, leaving me with an empty heart and a hollow soul. Still, I tried to fix what was broken, only to be humiliated beyond repair. I couldn't believe the same man who promised me heaven so ruthlessly put me through hell with lips that once worshipped me. I thought that was the end of us, but then a life-altering discovery threatened more than just me, and the least likely man to stand at my side was the one who refused to leave it. This sounds like a second chance romance. These are kind of hard to take, if the hero does enough groveling and making up for anything he's done before. If not, it's just really not that great, because how can you trust someone who has really done you wrong? So we'll see about this one. The next one is Burnt So Bad by J.H. Croy. This is the third book in the Into the Fire series. This is about a firefighter, and he and Lucy share a hot night together, is what I'm getting from the synopsis, and it leads from there. They have insane chemistry, and very sparks fly when they meet, so this will be interesting. I love firefighter romances. I've actually read several recently, so this will be another one to add to my list to read. The next book is Locke by Tracy Lorraine. This is actually 0.5 in the Rosewood High series, so this is like a prequel to the series. This says, I've got two vices in life, basketball and my best friend's little sister. I've managed to stay away from one of them, no matter how tempting. She thinks I hate her. It's the easiest way to ensure to keep her distance. But suddenly we're forced into lockdown together in her family home, and for the first time in my life, basketball isn't going to be enough to distract me. I need her, and her brother being only feet away isn't going to stop me from claiming what should have been mine years ago. So this is a best friend brothers best friend's little sister romance. The next book is Ridge by Bethany Lopez. This is the first book in the Frat House Confessions series. So Carrie has a broken heart and revenge on her mind. Last year, Carrie was riding high. She had a boyfriend she loved, a softball scholarship, and the best roommate a girl could have. But it turned out her man was lying and cheating, and she may have gone off the rails a bit. Now it's a new year and she's ready to build herself back up again. And Ridge is the sergeant of arms at his frat house, and the ability to land any chick within snapping distance has made life pretty easy for him. But his home life is another story. He and his brothers are in the middle of a battle between his socialite mother and asshole father. Ridge is looking for a stand-in because his mother is trying to matchmake him. And he has a feeling he's just met the girl he can perfectly mold. This makeover has nothing to do with love and everything to do with Carrie and Ridge using each other to get what they want. What starts as a ruse soon becomes an attraction they cannot deny. So she is using him for revenge, and he is using her to have like a fake relationship to make his mother back off from trying to matchmake him with someone. So, but of course, as usual fake relationships go, they fall for each other instead. And the last book I have is Dragon Called by Kara Lockhart. This is the first book in the Prince of the Otherworld series. It's always a bad idea to fall for a hot, mysterious billionaire with a spooky castle, especially when you find out he's a dragon. Nurse Knight Andy was desperate for money to bail out her idiot brother. A one-time nursing gig seemed like the perfect deal. Lots of cash, no questions asked, even when her employer turns out to be the notorious billionaire Damien Blackwood. Andy is determined to keep quiet and finish the job. But when Damien saves her life from a monster, there's no forgetting what she saw. Not his insanely superhero physique, not the hungry way he looks at her, like she's some priceless treasure to be possessed. And definitely not the fact that he's got another hidden self. He's an honest-to-God dragon. Andy knows the dragon shifter's secret, and he's definitely far from pleased. After a night of monsters and mayhem, he takes her home in his fancy sports car and asks her for a date. The expensive, well-tailored suit can't disguise the fire in his eyes and wildness in his savage smile. She should say no. What if she says yes? So this is a dragon shifter book. I've been wanting to read more dragon shifters stories, so I am looking forward to reading this one as well. So those are all of the ebooks I have hauled in October so far. Let me know if you've read any of them or if any of them sound good to you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.